Hello and welcome to People Human Rights. This is our 33rd video where we will be talking about the wrath of God. Yeah. Because if we consider that we are made, God made us to its image. So this means that anything we do, we think, our emotions we feel, God has already experimented that. He has already done that for that. He has already felt those emotions. But in fact, for God, it takes longer to 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 be seen. It takes longer to see for us. Yeah, because we we can work on we work only on what we see on our own yard. Yeah, we in our village or something where we only work on what we can work. But God, He works on everybody, on every animal, on every tree, on all the creation. So when He has to do something, He has to adjust everything. That's why it takes longer. It can take many years, but that doesn't mean that nothing happened or nothing is happening. It's happening at the rhythm of God. Mm. And because there are billion, how many people there are on the earth? Billions? How many? And also the angels, we don't forget the angels, the bad, the good angels, the the other spirit. God has a lot to work on and has a lot to adjust. Okay, so let us read the two Esdras, the book two Esdras, two Esdras, chapter 4, verses 33 to 34. Let's read that. Of course, read all the chapter, it's very interesting. Enfin, all the book, it's very interesting. And he answered me. No. Then I answered and said, how long and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? And he answered me and said, don't hast more than the Most High, for your haste is for yourself, but God, that is above, hastens on behalf of many. All right. Because if someone can say, some people, they, they say, why God doesn't do anything. Some people doesn't care about God. Some people say, oh, God doesn't exist. It's just fabulations or things like that. Okay. Then, if someone can say, next time that person do this with me, this person will hear about me. Can say that. God can say that, and that's what He says. But we don't know when that person will do that again. God, He knows when that person will do that again. so he can plan his, when he will do his things, he can plan his reaction, his answer, his anger. When God says, I'm coming, the time is near. It is true. Maybe for you it is long, but for God it is there. Of course, some people will be there to see or to experiment it. Some others will not be there. But anyway, wherever you are in the creation, even the dead people will know that something is happening. So God's wrath is coming, is near, whether you believe or whether you don't believe it. That not because you don't see it, you don't feel anything, that nothing is happening, or that nothing will happen. Not with God. Okay, now let's read Matthew 23, verses 13 to 39. Matthew 23, verses 13 to 39. Of course, read all the chapter. Okay, let's read that. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to win a single convert, and when you have succeeded, you make them twice as much child of hell as you are. Woe to you, blind guides! You say, if anyone swears by the temple, it means nothing. But anyone who swears by the gold of the temple is bound by that oath. You blind fools! Which is greater, the gold or the temple that makes the God sacred? You also say, if anyone swears by the altar, it means nothing. But anyone who swears by the gift on the altar is bound by that oath. You blind man, which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? Therefore, anyone who swears by it and by everything on it, and anyone who swears by the temple, therefore anyone who swears by the altar swears by it and by everything on it. And anyone who swears by the temple swears by it and by the one who dwells in it. And anyone who swears by heaven swears by God's throne and by the one who sits on it. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give a tenth of your spices, mint, dill, cumin, but you have neglected the more important matters of the law: justice, mercy, and faithfulness. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. You blind guides! You strain out a nut but swallow a camel. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrite! You clean outside of the cup and the dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside also will be clean. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrite! You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of bones of the dead and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the graves of the righteous. And you say, if we had lived in the days of our ancestors, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. So you testify against yourself that you are the descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Go ahead, then, and complete what your ancestors started. You snakes, you brood of vipers, how will you escape being condemned to hell? Therefore, I am sending you prophets and sages and teachers. Some of them you will kill and crucify. Others you will flog in your synagogues and pursue from town to town. And so upon you will come all the righteous blood that has been shed on earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the temple and the altar. Truly, I tell you, all this will come on this generation. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who killed the prophets and stoned those sent to you, how often have I have longed to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing. Look, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Eternal. All right. So God's wrath worked through Jesus, through Yeshua, his son. He's anointed, because God can act himself, but he can also act through his possession, through his, how can I say, his weapons. See? Yeshua is the weapon of God. The prophets are the weapons of God, or anyone just, righteous, that God sends on the earth or to do something. They are the weapons of God. Huh? The sun is a weapon of God. The trees are weapons of God. The mountains, the sea are weapons of God. God can use them anytime. The volcanoes are weapons of God. All right. So, when God says he is coming back, that means that he's really coming back. If you don't see it, someone else will see it. All right. And we also will read Matthew 21, verses 12 to 13. Matthew 21. What is this one? Sorry. 20. Mhm. Okay. Matthew 21, verses 12 to 13. Another time, God is angry through Yahusha. Jesus entered the temple. Yahusha entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and benches of those selling doves. It is written, "My house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers." Okay, that is all for this time. It was just to adjust that something about the wrath of God and God's coming. Things are happening even if you don't see them. Okay, see you at the next video.